all around us, but we have to leverage them. We have to save them and curate them. Often we feel like our life is just boring. The things that we're doing are mundane. No one's going to find them interesting. But the reality is, people really find other people's lives interesting. Things that feel commonplace to you are going to be so interesting to other people. And you can turn the smallest thing into a story. But when you're leveraging it for your marketing or you're leveraging it into a book, it's really important to think about what's the theme? What's the morale of the story? What's the lesson learned? And of course, you can tie a bunch of different themes. You can write the story and then you can tie in a different hook at the end, like what you learned from it. So, what I like to do when I'm curating stories, I actually have one file that I save all of my stories in. For me, that's the easiest thing, and it's a Google Doc. I just have a Google Doc saved, and what I do is I will start each story and label it an H2 heading. So you can highlight the text, and then up at the top, you can change it to be either a heading 1, heading 2, paragraph text. You can change the type of thing that it is. Then, once the story is written, I will go back up to the top, and I have a running list of all of my stories. And I have it set up in a table. So I have the name of the story, and what I will do is I will highlight it, and I will click the little button that looks like a chain link to add a link to that text. And by doing so, within Google Docs, it gives you the option then to link it to a heading. And so that heading that I just made usually pops up as the first option. So then all I have to do when I'm going to look for a story to leverage is go to that table, look through my quick list of stories, and then I can click on the name of that story and it pops me to the other spot in that Google Doc where the story is written. Now, I may take what I had written originally and massage it or rewrite it or do some different things to it so that the story actually works for the actual application. Because what I put in a book might be a little bit longer and more detailed than what I might put in an email or what I might put on a social media post. Or if I'm sharing the story in a talk, I might have a certain amount of time allowed to really dive into a story. I might allow for more time so I can include more detail, but I have the bones of the story saved in this document. And then another thing I like to do with that table at the top is I will put little hashtags for different themes. And I will try to be consistent. So if the theme of the story is perseverance, I will put hashtag perseverance. I guess you don't even really have to use the hashtag, but I have a column in that table where I put words, or in my case, hashtags, associated with the different themes that can be tied to that story. And as a result, if I just do a quick Command F when I'm in that document, I can search for and find all of the instances where the word perseverance comes up and get an idea of, oh, these are all my stories that I have written and saved that have something to do with perseverance. And so if I am looking for a story in an application on a quick whim, this is my system. It doesn't require any extra expensive technology. It just requires a little bit of system and process so that I can quickly save my stories later. And then my regular writing practice, whether I have an active project that I'm working on or not, whenever I sit down and write stories or have a good story that happens that I want to save, I will just go and put it all in the one document. So I have one place I go back to look. You might have your own system, but if you're looking for a system and a way to get started, hopefully this gives you a few ideas of a simple way that you can get going yourself.